What up? This is your cosmic homegirl, and I am here to do a forecast for all of us and tell you guys what the astrological weather is like for the week of February 16th through February 23rd of 2020. So I hope everybody had a good Valentine's Day. You know, we got to say it with an M around here. So, yeah, hope you guys had a good time with your Valentine. But anyway, before we get started, I just wanted to remind you guys that I do have yearly forecasts for the signs on my website, which is indigomoonastrology.com. So I recommend that you purchase one for your rising sign because it will be the most accurate. And your sun sign will be pretty accurate too. And your moon sign could be as well. But yeah, I go over, look, we're in Mercury retrograde now, okay? February 16th is the beginning of Mercury in retrograde. Now, we know how we do around here. We already know that the shadow period does matter. So the whole month of February so far, we have pretty much been in Mercury retrograde. And the craziness, the madness has begun. The stupidity is real around these streets, okay, with Mercury retrograde, with the shadow period and everything. So now we're fully in Mercury retrograde. And I do go over in these forecasts every Mercury retrograde cycle in 2020, as well as Venus and Mars both go retrograde this year. They do not go retrograde every year. It's once every couple of years that Venus and Mars go retrograde. Okay, so you guys want to know what's going on with that for you this year. Venus goes retrograde in a couple months. Yeah, so if you want to be ahead of the game, you know, go ahead and purchase you a little 2020 forecast for your sign. I do also go over the eclipses, the North Node and South Node, all the outer planets. Yeah, so you want to get on that, you guys, if you want to be able to navigate through 2020. We're halfway through the second month of the year only. But like I said, be ahead of the game. All right. So let's talk about what the weather is like this week. What's the energy in the okay? And first of all, please excuse my voice. I am under the weather right now, but I'm still trying to get the astrological weather forecast out. I probably am not going to be as active on social media for a little bit too, but whatever. There's still things that got to be done. So anyway, so if I sound weird or whatever, I have to cough or whatever, I don't really edit these things. And please forgive me for that in advance. Now, what's going on this week? So starting with the 16th, there's a lot popping actually on Sunday, February 16th. Okay. First of all, let's talk about the moon, because the moon does show like our mood, the mood that's in the air, our emotions, how we're feeling, how we're emotionally reacting to things. And it is in Sagittarius all day on the 16th. So from the 16th until the 18th, moon and Sag days. Moon and Sag, the mood is a lot more fun and mischievous. And, I found myself, under this moon in Sagittarius just saying, F it, whatever, just saying, whatever, I made it, whatever, we got it done, whatever, even though there's mistakes that have been made because of Mercury retrograde. And as you guys know, I have like 15 million other jobs, and I work pretty much every day. So if I'm not at one, I'm at another, and maybe sometimes two of them within one day. And yeah, the craziness has already begun with Mercury retrograde, and a bunch of like directions that are vague, or like just, like vague directions being given, or people say, oh, it's over that way, and it's really the opposite way, or getting lost. Like I got lost and went the complete opposite way on a freeway. Ended up somewhere totally different than where I was supposed to go, to an event I was working at. And it was just like, oh my God, really? Yeah, there's a lot of mix-ups going on with everyone because of Mercury retrograde. And, Mercury is in a conjunction with Neptune, and Neptune is a planet that does rule sometimes being confused or lost, because Neptune rules, it's like hazy energy. Picture it being like a fog, like whatever Neptune touches, just consider that to be foggy, hazy, and unclear. So Mercury is our mind, our memory. It is communication, whether it's verbal or written or electronic or anything. That's what Mercury rules. So all of that can be so just like disoriented at this time. So please try to have patience and forgiveness with not only yourself, but Also with other people, because everybody's making mistakes, whether it's professionals or just like regular schmegular Joe schmoes around. Everybody is is like suffering with this. So the key things with Mercury retrograde is always slow down. Try to slow down with communication and with travel. Try to have alternate backup plans. Try to maybe leave a little earlier if you have somewhere to go, especially if it's somewhere you've never been before. You want to make sure you leave earlier so you have what I call getting lost time. Like you just have time, like there's a little room, a little cushion in case you get lost. You can still make it there on time or within decent timing. So make time for getting lost, y'all. Like it's just reality with Mercury retrograde. You'll have to redo things. You may type things and intend to post them online or send messages or emails and type them up, and then something stupid can happen, like the message doesn't go through, or your device shuts off and dies or tweaks out before you get the message posted. That happened to me actually with posting something about Mercury retrograde on my Instagram. I typed this whole big dissertation out, and I failed to look at the fact that my phone battery was only on 1%, and my phone died, and I lost the whole freaking post. And it took me a few days to want to go back and type up something again, because that's a pet peeve, is like having to redo things for me. But Mercury retrograde, just, you guys, is part of the word retro and retrograde. Okay. So redoing, retyping, so revise things first. If you have a plan, revise your plans and make sure that they can successfully go through. Do it a few times over if you have to, that's how you get through. And just watch out for idiots and people driving like really stupid, because Mercury in Pisces doesn't really focus very well as far as like practical real world stuff. Like everyday stuff, like driving and anything that requires like a lot of mental energy. Mercury in Pisces doesn't like that. It's about daydreaming and nonverbal communication and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's Mercury in Pisces all day, just by itself. And imagine it being retrograde and in a conjunction with Neptune's confused ass. Like, come on. It just make extra time for dumb stuff to happen. Okay? Have backup plans for things. Back up your devices. Stuff like that. Okay? I know people's phones are tweaking out and wigging out. My phone has been doing that. Like I charge the battery and then it's like all of a sudden it jumps down to 1%, or it just shuts off and dies. And I'm like, yo, it was at 80% and I just took it off the charger. Like, why is it dying? Then I revived the phone and it's at 10%. I'm like, what is this? This is some old bullshit here, man. So, people are having trouble with their phones. This girl today was telling me that, like one of my coworkers was telling me that her laptop just started playing music out of nowhere, and it didn't matter what she did to it, it would not stop playing the damn music. And not until the battery just died out on its own did the music go off. She said that just happened to her the other day when Mercury was still technically only in the shadow period. So yeah, just if you guys have things like that are happening, just try to have patience, and just know that it's just what's going on right now. And this too shall pass. And be cautious and careful when it comes to purchasing, purchasing electronics and stuff like that. And I know it's tax season. A lot of people are getting their tax returns, and that's exactly what they want to do is, upgrade their devices and things like that. If you can, please try to hold off until, was it like mid-March? Mercury gets out of retrograde. Well, I mein, it goes direct again on March 9th, right? And it'll be in Aquarius, which is a sign that does rule technology anyway. But it goes direct, but don't forget there's still a shadow period after that for like a couple of weeks, So say like the 9th, 2 weeks after that would be like, like the 23rd or something. So not until like the end of March. If you can, hold off until like the end of March if you wanted to like replace your phone or replace your laptop, unless you really, really have to and you cannot wait and it's just like crucial and dire. Just make sure that you're aware you're purchasing it during a Mercury retrograde now. All right. And just make sure that you know exactly what you're buying and you're not swindled into anything. And there's no confusion with the device that you're buying. Okay. And even vehicles too, cars, that can be Mercury ruled as well. So if you can, just wait. But if you cannot, if you mustn't wait, just take a lot of precautions and read all the fine print. All right. Okay, so excuse me. But yeah, because all that stupid stuff has been going on, where we at? And because the moon is in Sagittarius, kind of helps us to have a little bit like an oh well attitude about stuff instead of like dwelling on it and like dwelling on it and stuff, dwelling on the issue. Okay, so yeah, the moon is in Sagittarius. Hi, why won't the screen move? Oh my god, maybe it just doesn't. Whatever. So the moon is in Sagittarius, February 16th, 17th, and 18th, right? Also, we have Mars moving into Capricorn on the 16th of February. And Mars will be in Capricorn until March 30th. So we have like exactly a month and a half of Mars being in Cappy. Now, Mars in Capricorn, I think I went in on Mars in Capricorn last week and told you guys all kinds of stories and stuff. So I won't I won't go over it too much today. But just know that Mars, it's a planet that rules the action that we take, the physical action that physical actions that we take, the physical drive that we have to do things, achieve and accomplish things. Mars in Capricorn, it can be very militant and very calculated and very strategic, so that can help out with a lot of practical things day to day that we have to do and we have to achieve. So we'll have like more willpower to push through things, more strength and more resilience. Mars in Cap is super like mad resilient, you guys, because Mars is a planet that is associated with the military, and Capricorn is one of the main signs associated with the military. So Mars and Cap can make us all, that's why I said kind of militant. Some people can be a little more authoritative and have a little attitude, okay, little funky attitude, thinking that they are somebody, bossing people around. Yes, some people may tap into that, especially Capricorns. Sorry, I need to check on my Capricorn sisters. As a matter of fact, my blood sister and non-blood sisters, I need their Cappies, and I need to see how are they doing. How you doing over there, boo-boo? How you holding up? You over there bossing people around, or people trying to boss you around, because a lot of times when Mars is in your sign, people just get on your nerves extra and they just try you. Okay. So any Cappies out there, I really feel for you, but Mars is definitely going to give you guys a lot more energy, like physical energy and drive to just be like, you know what? I don't care what's going on. I may be sick. I may be tired. I may be overworked, but hey, shit's got to get done, man. And you guys will just push through. I really admire Capricorn energy for their strength and resilience in that way. So we will all get a taste of that, with Mars being in this sign for a month and a half. All right. Okay. Now on the 18th, the moon moves into Capricorn. So the moon, excuse me, the moon will join Mars in Capricorn, on February 18th. Okay, so listen, Capricorn energy rules bosses, okay, and being bossy. If you guys work under any others, if you have authority over or authority figures that are over you, just know that they will really be on their authoritative stuff on February 18th. If you've got work to do, you got bosses to deal with. Here in the US, the 17th of February is President's Day, and it's a holiday to where a lot of people have that day off. But then when you go back to work the next day, though, like on the 18th, oh my gosh, expect your bosses to be on their stuff, on their Cappy stuff, even if your bosses are not Capricorns. It's a day to where, hey, people will just be like, yo, what is this and what is that, and how come you didn't do this right, and just like drilling people. So just be aware of that. Or you yourself might have more of that attitude as well. The moon and Mars together, just not standing for any BS, not putting up with anybody's crap. And also, yeah, it just gives you a lot more willpower and ability to get things done and push through no matter what. So it's dope, The moon is in Capricorn from the 18th until the 20th. Sorry. Let's see, the moon is in Cap. Yeah, so the mood when the moon is in Capricorn, it is one of Let's just get this shit done, man. We don't have time for the BS. Capricorn energy, it is ruled by Saturn, which is father time, Chronos, so that means that people don't like to waste their time and don't like for others to waste their time when the moon is in Cap. So it's top dog energy pretty much. So yeah, that's what the mood and the attitude is like. People may be more focused on work rather than anything to do with love or any of that stuff. Nah, moon and Cap days are not about that. Not about that life at all. It's money over bitches when when the moon is in Capricorn, okay? F bitches get money, So yeah, that's what's going on those days. People could be more reminiscent and nostalgic about old times when we have Mercury retrograde combined with the moon in Capricorn. So that's actually pretty cool in my opinion. People could be more focused on like traditions and the way that things have already been, the tried and true and traditional with moon and Capricorn. And then it's like, oh, I remember back in the day, blah, 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 with Mercury going retrograde, right? Let me know something, you guys. Have any of you guys experienced this? Because I had this dream last night about an old friend that I grew up with in my old neighborhood. And Mercury can rule like friends and neighbors and stuff, and it's retrograde. And I had a dream about this old friend that I've known since I was 8 years old. We've kind of lost contact a little bit over the last couple years. I mean, we could still stay in touch via social media if we wanted to, you know what I'm saying? But social media is weird. It's not, whatever. I'm not going to get into all of that. But I had a dream about him last night, and it's like Mercury retrograde. And this is a friend that we met when we were 8, and we're the same age. And he's a Scorpio, and he's very cute and has dimples. And I had a crush on him, and I was so in love with him from the time I was 8 until we were grown adults. He was like, I was like, oh my God, I want to marry him. I have a thing for Scorpios. I mean, whatever. And he was cute. But he popped up in a dream last night, and I haven't thought about this fool in forever. So Mercury retrograde can have you reminiscing while you're awake and also while you're asleep, because Pisces, it rules dreams and sleeping, and so does Neptune, and Neptune is in Pisces, the sign it rules. So it's like double that energy. So people can really come back to you in your dreams and in your memories. And sometimes when that happens, it really is a truly a message. Maybe that person has been thinking about you too, whether they are alive here in the physical or they're in the spirit realm. Sorry guys, hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. I didn't want to be tacky and cough too much on the microphone. But yeah, so just watch out for stuff like that. It could really truly be a message from the individual that you are dreaming about. And that dream, I gotta say, that dream was nice. Okay, I don't know if he still looks cute like that, like back in the day cute, but it was a nice dream. So boo boo, if you're listening, you know who you are. Yes, I've been dreaming about you too. Hit me up, okay? Mercury retrograde could be about reconnecting with old friends and even old loves, and it doesn't always have to mean, oh my God, like, so you got to be so afraid of reconnecting with people during Mercury retrograde. What you do have to be cautiously aware of is rekindling old toxic romances and stuff like that. That's what I've been going in on about Mercury retrograde, is like toxic exes coming back to apologize and begging and all this stuff. And then I think I told you guys the story last week, but I have a homegirl pretty close to me, and that's exactly what has happened to her. Her ex came back apologizing and promising this and promising that, and guess what? It did not last very long. It lasted a few days before they were back in the same old toxic patterns, and they had a little altercation or whatever, and they had to sever the ties again. It was a very short-lived reunion. So that's the stuff that I always warn you guys about when Mercury is retrograde. It's all the way real. I give real life examples. I leave them anonymous. You know what I'm saying? But I will always give you real examples, because around these parts, I don't just base things on data and information and stats and all that. Nah, we're talking about what happens here on Earth, okay? EARF. As above, so below. So that's what you want to be cautious about, is rekindling something that once died, Excuse me. But anyway, moving along. So the moon is in Cappy for a couple days, okay? Left, right, left, get on up, forward, march, all right? Okay, and the moon will come across Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, and it's really going to be about getting some serious work done. Um, the 19th and into the 20th. Okay, like really focusing in on your money, your work, your business, your goals. If you're in a position of authority in life, even that means as a parent, you'll really be wanting to step up your game when the moon is in Cappy and hits all those planets, especially now that Mars is here for support. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So yeah, the moon is in Cap until 2020. 220, February 20th, right? Yeah, and then it moves into Aquarius. Also, I forgot to mention, oh my god. I'm skipping ahead too far. Um Mercury retrograde. Sorry, Mercury retrograde in full effect, y'all. All right. So, the sun goes into Pisces. Oh my gosh, forgot to talk about this. Okay, so it looks like on the 18th. The 18th or into the 19th, depending upon where you are in the world. So the 18th, 19th, the sun moves into Pisces, and it'll be in Pisces until March 19th. So from February 18th to March 19th, okay? So the sun in Pisces, the sun it's the main life force and source of energy and life and light for us here on earth. So whenever the sun is in a sign, we really feel that energy. That's why people will do the hashtag such and such sign season, mostly based on where the sun is at. But we all know here that, it's Pisces season when the sun moves into Pisces, but we already had Venus in Pisces last month, and this month we have Mercury in Pisces this month. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of an Aries season too, with Venus traveling through Aries as well. So, and then Mars is in Cap. Like, everything is scattered. The different planets generate different energies that we'll all be tapping into in different ways, right? But because the sun like really gives a lot to the earth here, we talk about Pisces season when the sun is in Pisces, for example. So we all will be having Piscean mermaid and unicorn energy bestowed upon us down here on earth. All right. So what does that mean? We are all feeling, to some degree, tapping into excuse me, our spiritual side, tapping into our romantic side or intuitive side, our creative sides, diving into more escapism and fantasy. And that doesn't always have to mean like, it can mean just through music, like, and watching movies and playing video games, however you escape the real world. That is Pisces energy. So we're all feeling that. And also it's having a lot of empathy and like being able to fall, sometimes unfortunately being able to fall into people's traps of like their sob stories and stuff. That's also Pisces energy. Like, more people are like, hey, can you spare some shit? And I'm not dissing on like people who are really homeless or poor and they really need stuff, but people can really try to play on your feelings when we have a lot of Pisces energy in the air. Excuse me. So just be aware of that. If people are trying to like sway you or swindle you or something, give you a sob story that's not even real, just so they can get something out of you. You know what I'm saying? So just watch out for that during Pisces season. But if you are an artist, if you're a spiritual person, this is really the season where your intuition and your creative abilities will be like super on point and heightened, like so high. So, and also speaking of high and being high, Pisces rules escapism through substances too. So that can be drinking, that could be any type of recreational drugs, or even like prescription drugs people unfortunately use to escape as well. So yeah, this can be the season to where people are more doing those things too. So just try not to OD out there on anybody. All right, don't overdo it. But people do have a tendency to not see their limits and their boundaries with anything when Pisces energy is in the air. So I do have to give the warning about that. People will be more willing to cross boundaries when it comes to other people, when it comes to seeing someone in this light, like they are accessible to you, even though there may be some sort of boundary between you and that person that should be up. So sometimes people will just cross that when there's Pisces energy in the air. That can mean like they see your house as just open, fair game for them to just walk up into or break into and say, oh, what do you got in here? Let me take this. And I know I always mention that stuff when mutable sign energy in the air, but I'm just being honest, you guys, based on like personal experience and experiences from other people that they've reported to me. And then I look at the transits and I'm like, yo, why do people gotta act stupid when there's mutable energy in the air? Usually it's Pisces, and it's usually Pisces, Sag, and Gemini. Virgo season 2, yeah, because Virgo does square all the other mutable signs. And even though Virgo can play it off like they're goody two shoes, they can be shady too. That energy can be shady too, and then there's other mutable signs square in that Virgo. It brings out like the ability to play Jekyll and Hyde. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I digress. So Sun in Pisces, yes, it's a beautiful energy. It can be innocent and angelic and just love everybody and every living creature on earth. And very creative, very artistic, very romantic, okay? Very spiritual. So like I said, pay attention to your dreams, especially during Pisces season. Okay, now let's get back to the 20th, my bad. When the moon is in Aquarius. So moon in Aquarius days, let me tell you, Aquarius energy, it can make people very frustrated with humanity. I'm noticing that. I'm noticing that more and more over time. Aquarius energy can make you frustrated with humanity and make you feel like you don't even belong to these people, these creatures called humans on earth. All right. You feel like you don't even want to be associated with them fools. Like you don't want anybody to, a human. What? Who is she? I don't know her. I'm not one of her. Okay. Like people, because you just notice, like you just take this point of view, this very scientific and dissecting and more logical and looking down upon humanity and like figuring out why they do what they do, what makes them tick and all this stuff. And then you notice like dumb stuff that people do and you're like, oh my God, I'm not a part of this species if they do dumb shit like this. Like I just don't want to be labeled like that, So moon in Aquarius days can kind of bring that out, where you want to separate yourself from humanity because you just don't do certain like dumb things, that humans will do. Or it can make you feel the opposite because Aquarius energy, it also is about bringing people together, being humanitarian, if you will. So it is about also, excuse me, looking at humanity as a whole and wanting to do something to uplift humanity, and wanting to do something to, spread the word about positive things, so it can go either way. It all depends on you and how you tap into that energy. I usually go towards the alien route. Like I'm an alien in this and I don't know what y'all are doing, but I ain't doing what you're doing. Okay. So, but some people could go the opposite way and want to save and heal the world when the moon is in Aquarius. Aquarius does rule the internet, social media, social groups in person, technology, and groups that you belong to, whether you belong to a crew or a league or a gang or an organization or corporation. Aquarius rules all that, and it's gathering of the masses. So those days you may want to, if you belong to anything that is close to what I mentioned, you'll want to be with those people. You want to be with those people or represent that or speak out against something. All right. Good days to really look into science and technology and advancements in technology, and just be a super nerd about stuff, and be a hipster and be like, I discovered this actor when they were still in indie films in college and now they're popular and you guys are barely finding out. Yeah. Like this stuff like that is Aquarian energy big time. So tap into your inner hipster, y'all. Go shop at some thrift stores or something. All right. Okay. So the moon is in Aquarius through the 22nd. My God. I'm trying not to cough on here. I'm sorry, but I'm still trying to get this out to y'all too at the same time. Okay, so then on the 22nd, really late at night over here, but if you're more east in the US or in the world, it's on the 23rd. Sorry, the moon goes into Pisces, and the moon will be in Pisces until the 25th, and we actually will have a new moon in Pisces, so I'll talk about that in a second. But just the energy that's in the air, the mood, when the moon is in Pisces, it is very dreamy and mermaid like, and it is very fantasy based and driven, and you may just want to just chill and watch movies and be in your own zone, in your own world, in your own time zone, and pretend like time doesn't exist. The 22nd, so that's a weekend. Yeah, so pretty much the weekend is going to be moon in Pisces. So some people may just want to stay in rather than turn up and go out there and party and stuff. You may just be more in the mood to, let me just chill. Let me sleep. Pisces rules sleep. Let me sleep in. Just watch Hulu or Netflix or YouTube or something, or Disney, what they have now, Disney Video or whatever the hell that other streaming app is. All them joints. Like, you guys may be watching stuff on there, or being creative, being more of an artist, writing poetry. That's what I usually do on those days. Cry and write poetry. Yep. Total Pisces moon. Listen to music and write poetry and cry under Pisces moons. Yes, that's me. But anyway, so everybody maybe have a feel for that when the moon is in Pisces, and then the sun, it joins the sun in Pisces, Mercury, Neptune, so much Pisces energy in the air. So try not to drown in your feelings. All right, anybody of any sign, when there's this much Pisces in the air, you may have a tendency to do just that. And it can be hard to pull you out of your feelings, pull yourself out of your feelings. It's good to go near water. It is good to release, though, if you have a lot of pent up emotions, that you just haven't expressed. You may want to get them all out under Pisces energy. It's all right, to have a little cry or whatever. Have a good little cry, boo boo. Get it all out. And then once the moon goes into Aries, you'll be kicking everybody's ass. All right. So moon in Pisces days, yeah, they're super chill. Go near the water, or in the water, in the bathtub, or take a long shower, one with all the extras, like some essential oils in the mix, or like bath bombs, or if you like to play with Barbies in the bathtub or something, pretend like they're mermaids, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe that's just me, I don't know, but the moon in Pisces is good for stuff like that. Okay. What else? Yeah, or some people get high and drunk really, like, to the max under moon in Pisces days, and the sun is there, and Mercury and Neptune. So just try very hard to keep good control over yourself with your escapism antics, if you will. But still, very, very chill energy, moon in Pisces. You're extra intuitive. Trust your intuition. You may have a lot of synchronicity moments with people, those oh my god, me too moments, when the moon is in Pisces, with all this other stuff hanging out there too, because you'll really feel people. You'll feel their energy. You maybe even hear their thoughts, feel their feelings and emotions. Very sensitive energy. It does break us down, break down our walls that we put up towards other people. So you'll be very sensitive. So some people may just want to hide out, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to tune into nobody's stuff. That's what I'll probably be doing that weekend. Shoot. Oh, actually, I can't. I'll be working. Lord have mercy. I'm a workaholic. But yeah, I would like to do that weekend. But nah, I know I'm going to be working every freaking day during the moon in Pisces. And then going home and crying and writing poetry, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that's the moon in Pisces from the 20... what is it? The 20... or the... I can't find it. Oh, the 22nd through the 25th. All right. So the 23rd, the last day that I'm covering. What's cracking on this day, you guys? What's going on? We do have a new moon in Pisces. The sun and the moon are at 4 degrees of Pisces. It's like super early in the morning on the west coast of the US where I'm at. It'll be like later in the day in other parts of the world. But we have a new moon in Pisces, so that's the sun and moon coming together in the same sign, trying to fertilize the grounds of wherever Pisces lands in your chart in order to welcome in new energy. And a lot of times I do find that new moons are not always something brand new brought to you. No, sometimes it's a clearing away of something old to welcome in new energy. Like last year, I remember the new moon in Pisces and Mercury retrograde in Pisces. This was in my 5th house of dating. And there was a dating situation that I did have with a Knight of Wands gentleman. If you guys understand the language of tarot, a Sagittarius, of course. Knight of Wands is Sagittarius. Oh my God. Anyway, it was in and out, in and out, in and out. And I just got tired of it. I just couldn't deal with it. So some stuff happened to where that was let go of. Under a new moon in Pisces, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And had a little talk with the gentleman and, just kind of let things go. Severed the ties, at least to that, with the romantic involvement, severed the ties. Like, we're still cool or whatever, but it's not like that anymore. So that relationship, that romantic relationship, the romantic part of it was gotten rid of when there was a new moon in Pisces with Mercury retrograde there, because Mercury retrograde is about reflection, right? But it cleared the grounds and it welcomed, I wouldn't say what right away welcomed in a new dude just to come swooping in. Nah, that took time, y'all. Like it'll still take time, but at least it's like it clears something away sometimes. A new moon. Okay. So then in the future, you can plant the seeds of something new, to be birthed or whatever in that area of your life. So wherever Pisces lands in your chart, that's something that could be going on. Or yes, it can be a brand new beginning, something that's a gift from the heavens, out of the sky. There's something brand new that you're just receiving. This can be a realization about something. I always say that with the lunar events, things could be external to you or they could be internal. It could be you're finally enlightened about something. You have an aha moment, a light bulb moment, I call it, to where you realize something. And it helps you to change your perspective. So that could be a new moon or a full moon that brings that. And this new moon is in a conjunction with Mercury. So Mercury is our thoughts and communication and everything. So there could be like something that we are enlightened about. And it can come from a spiritual place too, because this is in the sign of Pisces, which does rule the spirit realm. So definitely with the new moon in Pisces, the night before, the morning of, or whatever, pay attention to your dreams. And even the night of the new moon, pay attention to your dreams because they may have messages. Journal your dreams somehow. Write them down or record yourself, little voice note or something like, yeah, last night I dreamt blah, 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 blah around this new moon. And then maybe it really does have a message for you, You never know. So this new moon, as far as the aspects, it does make a sextile to Uranus and Taurus, and that's a soft aspect. So I don't really look too deeply into that, but it could mean there's something that's a sudden insight that you're not expecting, and it just comes out of nowhere. So this could be, depending upon where all this stuff lands in your own chart, it could be sudden communication from someone or sudden realization about something or someone that sparks communication that's out of the blue and you didn't expect. News about something, because Uranus rules the internet, social media, and news traveling across the masses, right? Last time there was a new moon with Uranus, I learned some news, okay, that was like, whoa. Through the grapevine, right? So that can happen with this too, even though it's a soft aspect. Maybe it's not so shocking and like jolting, like when the new moon last month in Aquarius was squaring Uranus, and that was some shocking, jolting news. Okay, let me tell y'all. But this month may be a little softer, like, oh, guess what, blah, blah. Maybe some good news, hopefully. Crossing my fingers for everybody. And it does make also a sextile to Mars being in Capricorn. So maybe something that's creates some action being taken. A newness, a new beginning, and there's some action taken to make this brand new beginning happen rather than it just remain in your head, because Pisces energy can be in its head and it could be about being in your head and not really verbalizing things, just keeping things up there in your dreams, your daydreams, and being silent about it. But the aspect to Mars can make it so you're like, let me put these thoughts and dreams into action. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. And then it makes a trine aspect to the North Node. So it could be something that is just destiny. Like whatever happens, whatever's brought about with this new moon, just know that it's destiny. Okay? It's some sort of karma. And the word karma doesn't always have to be bad. Like, I may do a separate video on this. I only touch on this for just a smidgen right here on this one. But I always hear, and maybe I could be guilty of this too, because I've had a lot of karmic experiences that have been so crazy, and just like, whoa, not the most positive, right? But I always hear people say karma and karmic and all this stuff and use it in such a negative light. But it's not always so negative or scary, okay? So this new moon aspecting the north node of karma, of karmic destiny, it's not always, it could be something good that's destined to happen. Even if it doesn't seem like a positive experience is brought about by this new moon, just know that it was still destined to happen the way that it has, okay? Also, on this day, February 23rd, we have Venus in a square to Jupiter. So Venus is at 18 degrees of Aries. Jupiter is at 18 degrees of Capricorn. So that's how they are squaring each other. They're at the same degree in cardinal signs, which square each other on the zodiac wheel. They're 4 signs apart. So that creates a tense friction between these two planets and what they represent. So Venus in Aries, she's ready to go. Like, she's like Little Red Corvette, like the Prince song, like, baby, you're much too fat. Yeah, like that's how she could be. Venus in Aries, she wears red. She wears a red mini skirt, red lipstick, and she's just like strutting and just jumps on the man that she wants, okay? And doesn't care about the consequences, and then looks for the next one after she's done with that one, She wants to move quickly. Jupiter in Capricorn. Even though it's Jupiter, Capricorn energy moves slow, my G, like slow. Like it doesn't want to dive into things impulsively. It wants to calculate and plan and then make a strategic move when they feel the time is right and da da da. So there could be some frustration between love and money, which Venus rules mostly, and wanting to move fast with something and wanting to make things happen and believing it can happen, which is Jupiter. But Jupiter being in Cap, it doesn't just hand out blessings like when it's in Sag or something. It's just like, hold on, wait, have you earned this blessing? Okay, let me check your credentials. Let me check your history and the work that you've done towards getting these little gold coins and see if I'm even going to give you one of them. So when it comes to love and money, we may experience maybe some setbacks, like something being held back from us, because we just, we need to slow our rolls. Okay, we need to slow down and look at things. Because Jupiter energy in itself, it doesn't really like to look at the consequences either. It just likes to jump and fly. But it's in Capricorn, which is going to be like, hold up, wait, no, let's look at this for a second here. And the second is not really a second. It's them having a teachable moment and spending like 5 hours drilling you on something. Oh my God, that's Capricorn. So with love and or money, there may be some lessons that come about that day in patience, having patience and looking at the consequences first, or it could be, hey, do you believe that this can happen or not? Do you have faith that this can happen or not? Are you being too stingy and too in the 3D and too grounded to where you won't even jump at all? Venus in Aries, she just likes to go for it. Capricorn energy doesn't, not unless it's sure and all, you know what I'm saying? So those two energies, they clash with each other on this day. So just be aware of that. We maybe brought a lesson of patience to ourselves, sorry. But yeah, so that's what's going on this week, you guys. The 16th through the 23rd of February of 2020. I'm going to go drink some hot tea now and rest my voice a little bit. But thank you guys for tuning in and listening. Don't forget about your 2020 horoscopes. I discounted the price down for February. You know what I'm saying? As a little gift, Valentine's. You guys are all my Valentine, all right? So I discounted this down a little bit for February for the 2020 horoscopes for all of the signs, okay? So get you one. All right. So anyway, I will see you guys next week. And once again, if you don't see me as active on social media, like, I'm still alive, kind of hanging in there. I haven't really had much days off in a few weeks, and it's going to be like that for a minute. Just how it's going to be for me for a little while. Okay. So social media will have to be like reduced down for a little bit. Okay. But I should be back for your weekly next week. If you don't see me, hey, I'll be back when I can. All right. Okay. So peace out, everybody. Have a good week. I'll see you next time.